Someone sent this picture to me, and I can't help but unsee it. Because this demon legit looks like Geodude. Like, he... like, oh my god. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that kind of makes the scene just endlessly funny to me. Like, I don't think I could ever take that scene serious ever again. Like, if I ever rewatch the show or read the manga's equivalent, I don't think I will ever take that moment seriously, especially when a man legit looks like a freaking Geodude. But okay, jokes aside though, actually a little bit more comedy, I want to talk about the cuteness that is the sister, and her being inside of a basket. There is just so much quality in her scenes throughout this episode that I can't get enough of it. I want more scenes with this character. Like, just seeing how the brother looks down, and he's looking at his sister trying to climb into the basket. He's like, huh, she kind of protrudes, doesn't she? And you just see how she's, like, hanging out and just laying down. I'm like, oh my god. And then eventually the basket flips, and you see how she just shrinks down and gets in the basket, and he just starts, like, rubbing her head, giving her head pats. I'm like, this man, he has quite the life in store for him. And just the sister character is super freaking cute. I have to say, easily one of the cutest characters I've seen from Spring of Anime 2019. I know there's one other show that is a contender, but at the same time, though, I can't help but just say how adorable the sister is when you just see her in the basket, especially at the end of the episode when all the conflict and everything is kind of settled, and you see how she kind of, like, goes inside of the home, she gets in the corner, and she's hiding from the sunlight, and you just see how she's in a basket covered, and she's just hiding. That's cute. That's just straight up freaking cute. I want more. Give me more, because honestly, no, right there, I would watch the anime for that alone. But okay, jokes aside now. Let's get into the serious stuff. So, this episode really wants us to know that Nezuko, the sister character, she is someone that is going through a lot of hardships. Even though there's not a lot of words being said, for instance, she's not obviously able to probably speak right or even speak at all, she definitely at the very least is dealing with her own conflict, her own issues that I think the brother has no idea what she really is truly going through, the suffering she is going through. Because what was stated in the first episode is that she, as a new demon, is very hungry, and she was about to eat her own brother in that moment at the end of the first episode. But obviously she fought back against those instincts and she did not do so. And in turn, in this episode, you see when they encounter this demon that is just completely decimating these innocent civilians, and you see how, like I said, Nezuko and the brother walks in, you see how she starts to drool. Like, at first you might think it's tears, but when you really take a moment to analyze her face, it's just drool. She's literally just drooling on herself, where she just wants to have something to eat, which basically lets us know that, yes, she is still very hungry, she has not gotten to eat, and the question is, how long can she hold on? Because, I mean, we gotta look at what has already been stated about these demons. They're man-eating demons. That title, I don't think you can kind of change out. I don't think there's probably a vegetarian demon in, you know, this series. So the question is, do they actually need to eat? That is the big question I have. And another is that most likely the alternate to the, you know, what she could potentially do to kind of quell her hunger might be that she eats demons. Now, this is something that has been done in other series, like, you know, like, there's many examples I can talk about, but the main point here is that it is something that's very common, and it would definitely not go against the character. For instance, her not wanting to be a man-eater, her devouring these evil demons would make sense. In some cases, I could see, since this is a shonen, it could offer her power-ups where she could get a lot stronger, but on top of that, though, she won't have to consume innocent lives. So I feel like that could be an option, where Nezuko might have to actually go after demons and take them out instead of hunting people. She will be a demon hunter that devours them, like a demon-eating demon or whatever. So I feel like that is probably one of the only answers that is available for her, unless she can go endlessly without eating, and if that truly is the case, it's going to be suffering for her entire life until she's potentially fixed, or she's actually a human once again. Because, I mean, you got to look at the main thing that's going on here, is that she's suffering. And, you know, eventually hunger is going to eat away your mind. It's going to erode your mind to the point where you're not really going to be able to control yourself. And if she's just getting endlessly hungrier and hungrier, like I said, it's just going to get worse. And eventually she just will not be able to control herself. It really just goes to show how strong her will is, just to be able to stop from eating her own brother, but also stop from eating those innocents that were already pretty much gone. That says a lot about her. So she is definitely a strong-willed female character, but how long can she really hold on until she finally snaps and goes over the deep end? Which, by the way, let's talk about the main male character. So the main male character, there is one big thing that our teacher-type character wants to teach him in this episode, is that he lacks resolve. He has poor ability to make decisions. He's not very quick at that. For instance, if something important happens, he doesn't make a split-second decision. He just, you know, constantly thinks about it, and eventually time passes, and the decision is made for him, which is what happened within this episode. He had the option, like multiple options. He had the option to either stab the demon, or crush the demon with the rock, or just eventually just leave the demon and walk off. He didn't make any of those decisions. He was literally just stuck in limbo and didn't do anything. His only choice was to do nothing, basically. He just did absolutely nothing, and eventually the world did it for him. For instance, the sun came out and it eradicated the demon, which is a valid option, but at the same time, it wasn't because he wanted the sun to end the demon. He just didn't make a decision, which could lead to problems in the future, because if you're not able to make split-second decisions, it could cost your life, but many other people's lives. For instance, that's kind of one of the big things that the first episode is trying to show, is that because of how scared or shaken up he was, or how he didn't really do certain things a certain way to kind of save his sister, that is kind of why, you know, the dude got angry with him in the first episode. And we can see how this character trait is playing a big role, once again, in the second episode, that his decision-making, what he's doing, is very flawed, and he needs to be able to wake up and actually get the job done properly, or people are going to die. For instance, one bad decision from his part could potentially put his sister in danger. Well, she'll become a man-eater, and if he doesn't make a right decision, that could happen. So that's what the teacher is trying to tell him in this episode. You need to be able to have the resolve. And that's one of the most important attributes I think any character needs, especially in a series like this. You need to have the resolve to push forward and not give up, and also be determined to set out and do what you want to do, instead of kind of, you know, thinking like, or you're not even making a decision. You need to be able to go, 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 go. Which, okay, now let's talk about the actual story of where it's going right now. So, obviously, the main male character, he needs a training arc. He is someone that has recently been introduced into the demon world, basically, you know, getting to know about the supernatural, these demons, demon hunters, what happened to his sister. You know, there's a lot of things that's happened to him in a relatively short period of time. And right now, he needs to be able to kind of up his strength, up his ability to actually take out these demons. Because if he does actually want to fix his sister and bring her back, maybe potentially becoming human or whatever, you know, he's going to actually need to be able to handle these demons. He also needs to be able to be strong enough to hold back his sister, because you gotta remember that as well. There's going to be probably times where she's going to be just bloodthirsty, hungry, and she's going to go on a rampage almost, and he's got to be able to have the strength to stop her. It's not just him trying to stop demons, but it's also him being able to stop his sister from doing things that could be irreversible, something that she can never come back from. So there's a lot of things weighing here on his character that he needs to get better at. And so this training arc is very important for us as the viewer to learn more about him as a person, but also how the world works and how the strength and power system works, but also for him to be able to better everyone else around him. So it's very important. I'm glad we're getting into it so quickly. And I am kind of curious to see how the power system is going to work. That is one of the most important aspects to any shonen battle series, in my personal opinion, is how the power system works, because depending on what it is, really can determine how quality the series will be. Because, I mean, let's look at other shonen. Like, what really separates some shonen from others? Like, let's look at JoJo's, you know, overall power system. Stand abilities. Stands are so unique, interchangeable, that honestly, there's just so many unique encounters, you never really know what to expect. And let's look at another example. Let's look at, you know, Nin. Nin from Hunter x Hunter. Nin is so versatile and used for so many nitty-gritty situations that honestly, it really just makes you have multi-layer thoughts. Like, you're trying to constantly think about how these characters can outsmart each other with their power. So, I mean, power systems really do matter. They're like the bread and butter of shonen, and depending on how it is, could determine if people will be interested in the battles or not. Now, I'm not saying that the battles are the most important in this series. I'm just saying the power system is pretty important because we're going to obviously get a lot of that when it comes to a shonen series. So we need to see how it's going to be introduced. But let's talk about the art and animation. So art and animation, obviously straight up beautiful. Like, besides the comedy moe scenes with the sister, it's just some really beautiful art. I love the art and animation of this episode. There was some obvious still frames, which might have been more of an like a design choice, like they wanted to go that way with the art. But there was some still frames with the flashback when the MC was remembering his sister when she was, you know, not a demon, and it was just mainly just still frames. Now, like I said, this could just be a design choice. Maybe it wasn't them being lazy or cutting corners, but it could have been them wanting to just make it a very simplistic flashback, which makes sense. But there was some certain scenes that felt a little bit off, mainly some of the background. Like, some of the background had a little bit of CGI to it, but overall, it was nothing too crazy that really removed me from the episode. It was, in fact, a very beautiful episode, and I can kind of overlook any little minor detail when it comes to the bigger picture, which this episode did a good job at. Now, speaking of which, let's talk about the opening song and ending song. Opening song. My favorite. I think that is my favorite opening song of Spring of Anime 2019. That is an amazing opening song. Like, hell yes, that's an amazing opening song. I love the visuals to the vocals. I love it. It's a very, very good opening song. Ending song, honestly, I'm honestly on the fence right now. I don't know which is better. I really like the ending song as well. I actually might even say the ending song is better than the opening song. I like both of them, and I really don't know. I gotta listen to both of them more, but they're very good music, like, you know, opening and ending songs for the series. It fits the theme of it, and once again, the soundtrack of the series, too, alongside of the episode, is just completely beautiful. But okay, I think that's pretty much about it. Like I said, it's a great episode. It really just wants us to see the conflict with our two main characters and what they're going to have to go through, while also introducing the sensei character that's going to be very important for the growth of our MC. But that's about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, you know, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.